do a twerk. Keep hating like you isn't, get your feelings hurt. I got the 10 cent low, letting semi bird. We grinding day to day, chasing heavy pay. That banger bipolar when it click and spray. Jordan down, stepping big, check the red sweat.
Hey, yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day. Feeling the blessing, like I always say. It's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Damn. Work's killing me. Hard work, hard labor. But I want this job so bad so I can get hired fully. Because they said the starting pay is 24 bucks. And then I max out in the first year. I can cap out. And the cap out's from $29 to $33. Now, that's the dream job I was talking about. Making money like you guys. Taking care of my family. Getting all the finer things in life. So I'm working hard every day. Just woke up. Got to do a video. Let's stay positive, man. Let's stay productive every day, man. So, got a question from a subscriber. You know I honor those questions. Let's get right into it. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. Always leave a comment. Let me know what you think in the comment sections. Hit the links in the description, man. Hit the links in the description. My subscriber asked me, do I have any questions about fatherhood? And what is my biggest fear? Oh, that's an easy one. I can get right into that. So, the one thing since my son was being born, you got to remember I was a stepdad for about a year already. And, you know, I'm learning little things, but they started off from 8 and 6. So, no, it's been a little, it's a different process when you're learning them at that age. But now that I have a 1-month-old, a baby who's getting chunky, who just eats everything, he's getting a double neck. He's going to double neck. That's how much he's eating, bro. And he don't care. He's just like, bro, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. I'm going to scream and cry whenever I want. And I'm going to poop in this diaper, and you're going to change me, and there ain't no ands or buts about it. Ugh. He messes everything up. So, my biggest fear and the biggest question I ask myself is just this. Am I going to fail? And I ask myself that because, no, this is somebody that's counting on me to get everything done for him. To give him a life before he takes life and matters into his own hands and ruins it. You know, he needs to learn from me. See, now is the time for me to actually know and step up and really be a man, to know what it's like to be a man. Because oftentimes, you know, I was being careless in the beginning. When I first got out, I was acting a donkey. You know, I was acting a fool. I was out there trying to portray myself in a certain image. That way I could either be left alone or looked at like the biggest and baddest against those that, you know, were opposing me, that were against me. But every day I wake up and I look at my son and I just tell myself, like, man, what am I going to do wrong? Like, am I going to mess up? You know, there's so many things that can go wrong, and there's only so many ways I could do this right, because this is my first experience. This is me bringing a child into this world. But it helps me every day, and it stresses me out every day when I look at my son and I tell myself, man, how am I going to give him a better life than I did? Because my mom, she was a great parent. She worked 2 jobs. She was always been a nurse. She did everything she possibly could to provide. But it was very basic. And that's when I took the initiative by myself to step out and start doing the things that I did, and went down the wrong path because I always felt like, you know, I wanted more. That's been my biggest flaw, is that I always want more. That's why I'm never happy. You know, I don't tell nobody that out here, but like, my circumstances ain't enough for me. They'll never be enough for me. Enough is never enough for me. I could never be happy, and that's probably one of the things that we fight most about in our relationship, is that I'm never happy. I always want more and more and more. And if I can't obtain it, then I start thinking bad about myself. I start beating myself up. But now it ain't just about me. It's about my little man, little daddy. I got to figure out how I'm going to take care of him. I can't fail no more. He makes it that hard for me that I tell myself, you cannot fail no more. There's no room for error. He's counting on you every day to make sure you go to work and get that check for them diapers, for that formula, for his clothes. He's going to be growing every day. And I sit there and tell myself, man, I don't want to be like my dad. My dad had 3 kids by my mom, and he wasn't there for none of us. He didn't provide at all for none of us. So when my mom couldn't provide it, is when I developed the mentality. It's like, you know what? If she don't want to give it to me, I'll go get it for myself. I started off petty. You know, I would just take bikes from schools and the schools that I was at and burn off the stickers and scratch off the serial number and sell them for $50. Take all that money, buy myself some new shoes, some new clothes, the popular clothes. I wanted to fit in like everybody else. Then I started running in people's garages, taking whatever I could, selling them, making some more money, burglarizing, flocking houses, stealing from grocery stores, stealing from any store. That was wrong for me to do because I ended up in the juvenile system once I joined the hood because I didn't have nothing else at home. And that's the part that drives me crazy is like, I don't want my son to feel like there's nothing at home for him. That he had to go out to the streets and find a brotherhood out there. Because I was my mom's firstborn, so I was the oldest. I didn't have an older brother. I just had my cousin, may he rest in peace. I ran to my neighborhood looking for a different attention, looking for different things to do, looking for a different approach at life. See, I gave myself those options because my mom couldn't provide those options as a parent, and that's not her fault, and I don't blame her. So I tell myself, man, that I got to be able to give my son different options so he doesn't think like that. I don't want him to think like me. I don't want him to grow up thinking the way I was thinking as a kid. I want to give my son those options that he knows that his dad did everything he could to provide for him. That way he has opportunities greater than I ever had. So I need to develop the mind frame that everything I do is going to affect him. That's why I'm not on YouTube promoting my agenda. That's why I'm not on YouTube promoting my motives and promoting my movement. Nah, my son deserves better. So I do this YouTube channel every day, saving up money, working real hard every day to make sure that my son has a life to enjoy instead of having a different life to go to because I couldn't provide that one for him. See, I don't want to fail. This is my first son. I take pride in this. This is my pride and joy right now. Every day I wake up after work, I make sure he's in the bed next to me, just laying there. And I get to, play with his stomach and rub his little feet and make him laugh and make him giggle. And I just remind myself on a consistent basis, like, bro, I don't want him to go down the path that I did. I don't want him in the juvenile systems like I did. I went to juvenile hall when I was 13, boot camp, YA. Went to YA 3 times. And then I went to prison for 15 years. I threw my whole life away. These last 3 years that I've been out, it's like I was reborn again. I'm reliving again. I don't want my son to take that path. So that's my fear every day is that he's going to grow up and be exposed to all this that I had to be exposed to. And I got to go through what I put my mom through. See, I learned from my mistakes and I understand that. And I understand that I'm going to make mistakes as a parent. But my biggest fear is I don't want to make those mistakes. But I know I can't be perfect neither. So there's a lot. I can't ask everybody on YouTube and my friends around me for advice because everybody raised their child different. Everybody is going to go through them trials and tribulations, them errors. So I know I got to go through this by myself. But it's an ugly feeling looking at your kid and telling yourself, man, am I going to be able to provide for him? Can I provide for him? I don't want to wake up to that day that I have to admit to myself that I can't provide for him, that I can't give him everything that he ever wants. That'll be the last thing I ever admit to myself on this earth is I can't provide for my kid or my stepkids. So trust me, every day I wake up and if I beat myself up every day, like, bro, what do you need to do different and what do you need to change to make sure the safety and security of these kids is of the utmost importance at the high priority? And what do I need to do now to make the biggest difference in all their lives, including my son? Trust me, I've already started a piggy bank for him. And I plan on, once that piggy bank is full, I'm going to open up a IRA account, put it in there, or something to invest, a trust, a bond. That way, when he turns 25, he got money waiting for him. As long as I raise him responsibly and I teach him right, at the age of 25, he could take that money, buy him a car, buy him a house, go to college, whatever he wants to do. That's how I started thinking right now. I need to start thinking like right now, I don't need to be buying dumb stuff, being irresponsible with my money, because it's not about me no more. It's about him. I might even just give up rap. That way, all that rap money, then all that money for music videos and studio time, I'd rather that go to his account now. So I don't even know how I'm going to do that. But I tell you what, though, he's teaching me not to be selfish. He's teaching me that there's something bigger that I need to focus on. and apply myself more to than just myself, my career. See my kid go down the path that I had to take. So that's my biggest fear, man. Am I gonna fail, man? Because sometimes I sit here and I look at my dad and I'll be like, man, bro, like that dude was not even a dad. He was just he was a utter failure. He was pathetic. He hurt my mom a lot because he didn't get his way. When my mom was pregnant with my sister, may she rest in peace. My sister she passed away at birth. You know where my dad was at? He was in Las Vegas partying when my mom had to go to labor by herself. My mom was in the labor room by herself for me, my brother, and my sister. And my dad didn't even show up. My dad wasn't there. But he lived with us. He worked. He got his issue from my mom, obviously. And then he would just hurt her. So I tell myself, man, I look at my dad and I just tell myself, I will be a better version of that. A real better version of that. But sometimes when you're staring at your son, you think about all the possibilities that can go wrong and how you don't want them to go wrong. So trust me, it's stressing me out. It's hurting me a little bit inside because I don't think no parent wants to fail their kid. And I sure don't want to see my son joining no neighborhood thinking that it's cool. Hence, that's why I create a lot of positive messages for the youth, because the youth that exist today are going to be the ones that are going to try to influence my kid. And I'll be damned if that happens. My kid's going to be somebody. But in order for my kid to be somebody, I got to be probably the greatest example in his life. So I got to make something of myself. And that's a hard thing to do because right now, before my child was born, I wasn't really thinking much. I was just doing YouTube and I was having fun doing music, and then I was going out a lot. I was just working. I never had a set game plan, and I still don't. All I know now is this job that I have now, I want to secure as a career because it's a very, very great job and it pays well. Now I just got to think about all the better versions that I need to become. Not that I want to become, that I need to become for the sake of my son. So he has somebody to look up to, and he has someone to look forward to. So he can wake up every day knowing, man, I have a great life. I'm not struggling. Because my mom struggled. We struggled bad. I remember going months just eating cups of noodles and top ramens until she got that check to pay for groceries. I watched my mom sacrifice a lot and not have the life that she wanted for the sake of her babies. And that's what I don't want. I want to make sure that I have the life that I want and my kids have the life that they want. Tawny has the life that she wants. I want to wake up every day with peace of mind that we don't have nothing to worry about. I don't want my kid going to school feeling like everybody else has the better things in life and he doesn't have it. I want my kid to know, man, he fits in just like everybody else. There's a big part of me that was like, man, my son's going to be popular. He's going to be a player because he got green eyes. He's going to be fitted up. He's going to be a macaroni on me. I'm going to teach him all the isms. I'm going to teach him all the vernacular. I'm going to teach him how to get girls. That comes out of me too, right? But that's for another subject. But yeah, that's my biggest fear. So I really don't have questions about fatherhood because I'm too busy just questioning myself. I have to be self-analytical. I have to pick on myself. I have to beat myself up. Because it all starts with me. I could sit here and ask you guys for advice and what to do different and what was the biggest thing you learned about fatherhood. But I don't think it's going to really matter to me. It'll help me. But I need to learn this on my own. This is my growth. This is my educational learning, my life experience. And I just got to make sure that everything I do will be in the best interest of that child. So, with that being said, that's my biggest fear. Am I going to fail this? Am I going to fail my son? And I don't want to. And I can honestly tell myself I won't. I've seen too many of my homeboys do time and just sit there and talk about their kids and they wish they were there for them, staring at their pictures all day, talking about they're going to change, they're going to do this and that, come out and not even do it. Because there's so many beautiful women out here throwing that thing that they just chase that, or they chase a pipe, or they chase a sack. And they forget that they had kids in the first place until they end up in that predicament again. Now they're thinking about their kid again. I'm not going to go through that. I see dudes out here, who's still immature. They rather be active. They rather be cool with their homies. They rather go sleep with all the homegirls that's willing to give it up. But yet their baby mama and their kids is right there struggling, depending on them, hoping that he would just show up and just spend a little bit of time with their kids, and they don't do it. That's not going to be me. I can promise you that. And I can assure you and I can assure my son that when my son needs me, I will be here. When my son wants something, without him being spoiled rotten, I'm going to give it to him. So my priorities have changed most definitely. You know, I just want to make sure I give that kid everything that he wants. And I want to make sure that when he turns 18, life has so many beautiful things to offer other than a hood, other than a barrio, other than prison political views. I will make sure I'm going to shelter him from that. He's not going to know nothing about that, and he don't need to know nothing about that. Because my son will not be me. He's going to be a better version of me like I'm going to be a better version of my dad. So, with that being said, I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability. I got another video coming up soon that's going to be intriguing. So, with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. When I got one chance to do this right, let's get it done. Peace.